being recorded.
Hello, hello. That starting soon screen was on starting soon for a lot longer than I intended. That's okay. But yes, we're back. Now we have Fen here now. Fen created a character with us during our session 0, and then went on a 2-week vacation.
Yep.
And has now returned. Today, in fact, and just like returned straight onto had a day of rest, I'm assuming, and then straight onto the game, which is good. So now we can introduce Fenn's character. So as a recap of what happened last time, or in the last couple sessions, for anyone watching who hasn't watched those, and for Fenn who hasn't seen them, we basically our coterie was kind of thrown together by the sheriff, who sent them to the docks in West Melbourne, to retrieve a crate, or the contents of a crate. When they opened the crate, they found a staked and torpid vampire in there, who was Javier, and they sort of tossed him in the trunk of their car, and drove him to the meeting place, which is a warehouse nearby on Coot Island. On the way there, they were stopped by a tattooed man with no shirt and a length of chain, as well as what appeared to be a ghoul Rottweiler, and he was demanding that they turn the staked Javier over to him. And Victoria's response to that was to run him over with a car, or try to run his dog over with a car. But they both managed to avoid injury, and they met up at the warehouse with the sheriff, who took the stake out of Javier. And Javier woke up very hungry. At which point, our friend, the bald guy with the chain and the Rottweiler, showed up once again to try and take Javier. It wasn't really clear what he wanted. It was more along just like he wanted Javier. And basically a short scuffle occurred in which Javier stabbed him in the neck with a knife. He bled all over the place, and Javier barely resisted a hunger frenzy from it. But he was injured, so he retreated, and Javier. During the fight, by the way, Archie had used his blood powers to summon a horde of rats. I'm assuming he was going to use them to attack when they got there. But the fight ended before he had the chance, so they all turned up, and then they were just there. And that's when Javier, who was really hungry, just decided to eat as many of them as he could. So he was just crouching there in the middle of this warehouse, just eating rat after rat after rat. And as a Toreador, it wasn't his finest moment.
His finest moment, but hey,
either the rats or one of you. It was probably going to be.
So the sheriff, sort of having thrown them together as a coterie, they kind of went back to Victoria's apartment, really just to sort of regroup and avoid the sun, because it was too late to get for Archie and Astrid to go back to his home under South Yarra in the tunnels, in the stormwater tunnels down there. And the sheriff gave them the option of going to the rack to feed. So Archie and Astrid weren't hungry, or no more hungry than a vampire usually is, so they chose to stay behind. Archie did a little bit of a Mission Impossible break into to like a merchandise store, like a tourist shop, gift shop.
Souvenir.
Yeah, it was
shop.
like a tourist
to
shop.
get Javier a new T-shirt because his clothes were soaked in rat blood and guts. And the shirt he chose was a like an eye bleaching pink that just said "G'day, mate" in huge black letters on the front. And Violet did a sketch of that, which I think is somewhere on the Discord if people want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they went to St Kilda. They had a Victoria and Javier had a meal, and they ended the day all sleeping in different parts of Victoria's furnished apartment in South Yarra. Archie slept in the tub. Astrid slept on the couch, and Javier and Victoria kind of like boarded up, like or blocked off the entrance to the bedroom out of some sort of fear that Archie would break in and burn them to death. I don't know. It's unfounded. It's Archie's given no suggestion that he would do them harm, but they think he'll safe.
I think it was believed it'd be an accident.
Yeah, not intentionally, just out of his own stupidity.
Anyway, we'll start about an hour before sunset. Astrid, you find yourself stirring on the couch. The sun's not getting through here, but you can definitely feel like the presence of it behind the curtains. It it doesn't really hurt, but it makes you feel sluggish and slow.
Mm-hmm.
But you still find yourself waking up. If you were to look into the bathroom, you'd see Archie in the tub, and he just looks like a corpse. He's not asleep in the human sense of the word. Like, it's almost like, the life's left in his skin is pale. Although you will notice that a lot of the holes that traditionally kind of exist in his skin have sort of healed up. Doesn't really do much for his overall complexion and appearance, but it does he does look a little bit more together. Like, he hasn't been gnawed at by
Nose is still
rats.
fucked up though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the nose doesn't come back.
No.
Rathy's just in the middle of making new holes.
Yeah.
And
Raphael, of course, has max humanity, so he doesn't need to sleep that much.
Raphael is a rat famulus of Archie's, a ghoul rat that's much larger than a normal rat, like the size of a small dog.
I'll just wave and tell Rathu good morning.
A rapid size of a
good evening, I suppose.
Raphael just kind of looks up at you and then burrows back into like the many furs of Archie's clothing. Is there you couldn't if you went to check the bedroom door where Javier and Victoria are, there's something like heavy against it, so you couldn't open it if you wanted to. Although I don't know that it's Astrid's style to just barge into someone's bedroom.
Yeah, she was like, well, they went in there, they closed the door. I'm just gonna leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got an hour to kill. Is there anything specifically you want to do, or are you just gonna hang out and wait for them to wake up?
I'm gonna clean anything that I can, and while I'm doing that, I'm also just gonna be talking out loud to Rathu, even though he doesn't say anything. It's gonna be like, Rathu, I don't know, I had like this weird thing before I went to sleep. I saw this man, and he was beating up on another man, and he was bald, and she's just gonna go on about this for like an hour. She's cleaning, just talking to this rat.
Oh, that's right. That's another thing. Astrid had a strange sort of vision of a bald man beating another man, sort of with fists soaked in blood and a mean look on his face. I'll say that Archie is the next one to sort of stir in the tub, and Javier and Victoria kind of awaken soon, around the same time, like a little bit later. But by now the sun has set. It might be like a glowing line on the horizon, not enough to harm you. The sluggishness of the day kind of leeches out of you and you feel invigorated. And that's when I will ask everyone to make I won't ask you, then. Oh, actually, no, I will, because then we could, you're gonna have to do it eventually. So everyone do your rouse check. This is you sort of like waking up.
Oh no, I'm so hungry.
Oh,
Oh, actually,
I'm hunger free.
oh no.
I really need to eat that fucking cat.
yeah.
We're
So
the same hunger now.
you all
Actually, wait, no, you're
you awaken, Archie. You feel the beast kind of uncurl, and like one lazy sort of bestial eye, sort of in somewhere in the inside you, in the recesses of your mind, kind of creeps open and says, rats aren't going to do it this time. We need something better, something stronger.
Archie has a think. Are there any cows nearby? I say to, like, as I'm walking out of the bathroom.
Cows?
Yeah, the big guys.
No, I know cows. It's just I don't know if y'all. Would I know if there's any cows like in the nearby area?
You're in the like right near the heart of the city. There's You're not going to find
No.
farms for like it's a decent trek out of the city before you might even find cows, and you're more likely to find sheep. Perfectly honest.
Sheep would also.
I don't know, buddy. I think
big dog.
Yeah, right. What
Oh,
are we
I'm just
talking?
really hungry.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, maybe you can try to find a big dog later.
I don't
But
know
like,
now. I'll wait till Victoria wakes up. She knows what to do generally.
I'm sure she knows where a large animal can be found. Probably.
Good. Zoo.
Victoria, that's when I'm going to say that's when you step out. Of the
I was gonna say, I imagine the.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
You step out of the bedroom to hear Archie declare zoo. Like you sort of heard him like the muffled conversation about food, and Archie declaring zoo as you step outside.
I imagine since Javier was against the door, he's the one that woke up to the sound of. How about? Do you have any cows? And was like listening in and kind of like waving Victoria over.
Maybe Victoria, you decided it was a good idea to intervene before this what's the term, before this train of thought derailed and took out the entire town.
Yeah. Archie, it is far too early to be talking about ransacking a zoo. Can't we just... Oh, buddy, why are you the way that you are?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry, that's... Okay.
I'll go find a cat later.
No cats, at least not in this building.
Fine.
A different building, buddy.
Ah!
We'll find someone else's cat. I don't want to deal with the neighbors asking me about their pet.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just go escort him?
Would there be any large animal that I am familiar, like a pack of feral dogs nearby?
Not really. Not in the city.
Nah.
The botanic
Can
gardens
we
are,
summon a bunch of dogs?
the botanic gardens are across the road from where you are. And
Possums.
there's possums in there. There are some, like, nothing huge, but there are. But also, as a kindred, your concept of big open parks is that they're never really great to go into, because generally there are other night folk who like to live in parks and they don't particularly like your brand of night folk.
No.
But you never know. They're not in every park, but the general vampire.
No
rule
one
of thumb
likes
is
vampires. We're dicks.
the kindred rule of thumb is the kindred rule of thumb is just stay out of parks, stay out of big
Yeah.
open areas that aren't buildings, and it's for a number of reasons. Like, also, like, it makes sense because being outdoors in a
right.
big open space makes it hard to hide if you need to, and you know. But yeah, it's there if you particularly want it. If you want to go over there and see, it'd be. I think it's closed
there
at
it
this
is.
time of night. I don't know the rules of
geez.
Luckily.
Botanic Gardens, but I'm going to say it's closed.
I might try and go outside and summon some possums.
You could do that. The street that you're on is relatively well lit, so if you probably need
Would
to
make me
find.
go to 4 hunger though.
But there is a. I mean, potentially could make you go to 4 hunger. You don't know.
Yeah.
Javier's just gonna ask Victoria if she has a phone book.
Yeah, under the center console. TP. Under there.
So Archie, if
Yeah.
you do want to go out and sort of.
I might
summon-
try and
just-
just find one first before I use
That's
my
possible.
ability.
What is the role for the that? So I might actually get you to roll because one of the prototypes just have a role that you use
Yeah.
for them. So when you're hunting
Um,
as a farmer, it is a
I need
composure
to
plus
quickly-
animal ken. So I'll
Okay,
give me a composure plus
ooh.
animal ken. I'm gonna say make the difficulty a 3 because it's it's the sort of the heart of the city, so it's not like you're in the forest, whistling for various woodland creatures
Yeah.
to come and bare their necks.
And no extra dice, right?
No, you don't really have anything.
Difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Messy critical.
All right,
boy.
so this is first we have to check that it is a messy critical because we have this weird thing where it's just telling us everything is a messy critical, even if it's not.
I don't
But
really know what a messy critical
One
is,
of the
so
100 dice is a crit.
Yeah, it's definitely a
and-
messy critical. Yeah.
aren't you go out alone?
But you only
None
got
of the
one-
other dice are
yeah.
10s. There's only one 10, and it's in
Yeah.
it's in the hunger dice.
So that's
I
But
think you need
he
2
rolled.
But he
No,
rolled
but he
an
got
8
a
on-
crit
yeah.
on a blood dice, which makes it a messy automatically.
Okay, so that is
Oh, I thought you
technically
needed
3
2 tens for a
successes
crit.
because I think that counts as a.
It does.
3. It just has a weird way of reading it. Okay, so Archie, you do go out and there's a sort of strip of parkland around the Botanic Gardens. It's not fenced off, and you sort of find yourself stalking through that area. It's dark and it's got you get some light coming from the street lights, but concealed enough that you can probably get away with what you're doing. And you do find because it's so close to people and it's the city, these possums are they're not afraid of people. So they kind of like they ferret through the bins, they sort of
God help
perch
them,
on
then.
things, and you just see like a crowd of them, like 4 or 5 of them, just sort of sitting around this garbage can, looking for their early evening meal. They're nocturnal creatures just like you, and where you might be kind of a bit more gentle about this normally, the hunger that you feel is a savage one, and the beast is in control in this moment, and you tear into these poor creatures in a way that's even though you're a
Pleasant.
farmer and you don't eat drink from humans, and that's your that's sort of like a moral stand you've taken. This is something else. You make a terrible, awful mess of viscera. Like this is like what the mess that Javier made, but perhaps even more messy, just because there's more possum to go around. You're not just drinking the blood, but like every other sort of like awful fluid is kind of flowing, and you're
Oh no!
cover it, staining your
I
your
only had a
clothing.
shower yesterday. I'm gonna smell so
Yeah.
bad.
Staining your clothing. When you sort of finish and you so take one hunger point off,
Yeah.
and when you sort of finish what you're doing, and like come to, you see it looks like a crime scene. Like,
Oh,
go on.
do I take 2 because of animal succulents? Because the vampire can slake additional hunger by feeding on animals.
Oh yeah, sure. Take 2 then. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not going to look into it very deeply. I say take 2. They're also possums are big. So yeah, but you find there's one of the carcasses is like skewered on the wrought iron fence around the gardens. Another one has been like torn in half, and there's part of it's over there, another part's over
Jesus.
there. It's a sight. It is a terrible sight, and these creatures are on our 1 cent coin.
Yeah, Australian possums are so cute as well.
This is a tragedy, and not only that, like you are soaked in blood, like maybe even worse than Javier was, because at least Javier's clothes were clean before he had his rat feast.
Oh, God.
But
You're like a shag carpet, and you just absorb everything.
So, and as you're sort of standing there, like, yeah, just taking this all in, you hear boots crunching on gravel inside the park, inside the Botanic Gardens, and a torch, a flashlight sweeping across the ground, and you hear a voice call out, "Hey, who's there? Who's that?"
Go invisible.
I was escorting / supervising this, correct?
Maybe I would say from a distance, like, because it's a Nosferatu feeding. It's not a pleasant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I imagine I'm sitting somewhere nearby with the phone book, trying to look where the nearest church is, and then I hear what sounds like an animal fight.
Yeah. Oh, possums.
I'm covered in scratches again.
Possums are noisy. Like when they fight and get like frightened, they make awful sounds. So probably sounds you are not familiar with either. So you just heard some really weird, unpleasant, awful sounds coming from the darkness where Archie went into, and Archie's now invisible but standing perfectly still.
I'll snap that phone book shut and put it under one arm and go towards wherever that sound was, because that wasn't a good sound.
Well, as you approach, you hear those boot falls and the sweeping light and the voice calling out, and you can see from your vantage, Javier, well, it's like a security guard, most likely, or the outline of one. Broad-shouldered, carrying like the light in front of him in a way that kind of obscures him from sight. But what else would he be? That's the general assumption of what that might be. And you can see sort of scattered around the fence, and he's maybe like 10 seconds from rounding a corner and being able to see this through the fence. There's this like possum carcasses and viscera and blood just all over the carpet, smeared on this trash can that's like says "Keep Australia Beautiful" on the side. Yeah.
As Javier walks off, I say really like quietly and sadly, just I'm sorry.
Javier is not even going to respond to that because you're not there.
Yeah, I'm invisible still.
I imagine he sees this mess before the guard has a chance to, correct?
Yeah, but only like a couple seconds. You don't have if you wanted to clean it up, it would be more than you can handle.
Oh no, I cleaning it up is not going to be a problem.
Just blame it on
I
the
just
cat
need to
or
give myself
something.
time.
Yeah, you've got about 10 seconds.
Okay, so I'll try to go up and like maybe wave this dude over a different direction.
Okay, so are you gonna make noise, or are you just gonna try and like move and get his attention?
Wave. If that doesn't work, maybe a quick like, hey, like like when you're flagging down someone because you need help.
Yeah. So you sort of, because there's only like a small gap in the bushes, but that's he sort of catches sight of you and hears you through that, and the light immediately strikes your eyes, and you're wearing your sunglasses, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So, but you can definitely feel the way the beast inside sort of doesn't like that. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Nothing you have to really push fight down. But the beast, you just sort of hear the beast was like, ugh, what? Eat this guy.
Alright,
Fuck.
so
And the guy
I'm
kinda
gonna
looks-
try to
Go ahead.
wave him down, and
Yep.
I will attempt to make up a reason for him to go check some other area.
Okay. So he stops and says, "Are you over here making all this bloody noise? Is this you?"
I heard something. I
Oh,
was-
fucking Yanks! Look, I get that you blokes like love to come down here for like the surfing and all that bullshit, but you know we're a peace. You know we're not a an all night kind of place. You need to keep it down. All right.
Sorry, I'm still kind of jet lagged.
Ugh. Look, I'll just all right. Keep it down, mate. All right, and go back to your hotel or wherever you're staying. Don't make a mess around here. All right.
All right, but you
taking-
might want to know to I heard something awful, and I saw something like furry go that way, and he kind of points literally the opposite direction
Hold on.
of.
It's probably just a possum, mate. They're all over the place. Just ignore them. Don't touch them
you
because
sure
they're full of fucking germs and shit.
Sounded mighty awful.
Yeah. All right, mate. I've got work to do. Just like I said, piss off. And he turns around and walks off down the path. And you find yourself alone with the dead possums and an invisible Archie.
He waits until this dude is far enough away and just kind of sighs in relief.
When the dude leaves, I turn visible again, and I am once again I like that nearly immediately I'd be covered in scratches and shit again. And yeah, I say I'm sorry. Archie looks really upset.
Javier just kind of like waves it off and like, I'm the last one who's going to judge you for that. Anyways,
Go back inside now.
First, we gotta take care of this.
Mm.
This is trouble.
Yeah.
So,
Archie starts because you said they were like rooting for a rubbish bin, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start putting the bodies in the bin.
Okay. Like one of them is like impaled on the fence. You're not going to get that one down.
Oh.
how high is the fence?
I'd say it's a good like 9 feet. Like it's not a just reach the top of it. It's tall. It's the key. I can't remember. I've seen this fence in real life, but not for a while, so I can't remember exactly how high it is. But I'm gonna say it's high.
I do have cat's grace. If I manage to get up there, can I kind of balance on it and get this thing down?
I would say I'm not gonna make you roll to climb because it's not really a pressing issue. But yeah, you could.
Also, I'll be back in just a second. I did this already.
No worries. Yeah, you could climb up there without too much issue. Yeah. So I'm gonna say, sort of fading out in this scene of Javier and Archie cleaning up after Archie's unfortunate mess. And then we'll cut back to, I'll say, the apartment with Victoria and Astrid. Are you preparing for your evening out? Is there anything? Do you have anything in mind that you'd like to do?
Hey, Miss
Maria
Victoria.
is-
Go
Go
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I got a question. I got a couple of questions. Um, Three actually. First one. Do you think we could stop by like the shack real quick and maybe I could get a change of clothes? It's like we're doing something tonight, right?
Yes, I don't exactly have a time frame yet, so as far as I know, that will be doable.
That's when
Ah, great.
your phone begins to ring, Victoria.
Hello?
There's a long silence, and then it's like, and you can sort of hear someone moving around on the other end, like they're doing something, and then you hear the sheriff's voice. Miss Errant?
Good evening.
Yes.
I'm back.
We
Hi.
I have spoken with His Grace. He is willing to meet you tonight in council with his primogen. You are to attend. The entire coterie is to attend. I trust you will make efforts to appear presentable, all of you.
Of course.
His Grace is very particular about his company. You have an hour and a half. Please attend the Windsor Hotel on Spring Street. You won't have any trouble finding it. And then she hangs up before you can reply.
Okay. Windsor Hotel. Got it. And and Archie's Haven is like kind of just up the road, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not far.
A little bit.
It's just across the bridge.
Okay. Yeah. All right. In that case, yes, Astrid, we will have enough time to pencil in your outfit change, and she'll inspect her head to toe and go, well, you're mostly presentable. Quick note. We'll get to your other questions in just a second. Quick note.
Uh-huh.
When we are meeting with the prince and his primogen, please do not introduce yourself as a shovelhead. In fact, better yet, do not mention the term at all, please.
Okay, I can do that.
Yep, cool, perfect. Thank you.
Anything else I should avoid?
No, you're
Whatever Archie's doing, do the opposite.
yeah, you're genuinely the most pleasant person here, so you're fairly on track as long as no shovelhead talk.
No one's
Just
ever
kind
told
of
me that before.
Oh, well, you're not in very challenging company when it comes to that, so
Yeah, it's fair.
yeah.
I'm gonna say
just
oh sorry, go on.
be pleasant, present. Don't talk unless spoken to. You know, that sort of old world shit.
I know the type. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
While you're coming to this conclusion, I'm going to say, Javier, I'm going to assume you've gone off to do your activity that you mentioned.
How far away from the like?
Oh, it's probably like a 10-minute walk if you walk briskly.
Okay, I basically was like, I'm meaning like how far away from the crime scene is the apartment.
Oh, it's just across the road.
Okay,
Not far to go.
the first thing is to return Archie before going off on my own because I said I would supervise.
Okay.
And I imagine since Archie is such a little guy, it's a case of when Javier returns, he's holding him out like a baby with a dirty diaper.
Aww.
So they kind of emerge through the come in through the front door while you just as you finish explaining those things to Astrid, Victoria, and Archie he was relatively clean for Archie when he went out, and now
because I had a shower.
Yeah, but now he is foul and fetid and coated in filth.
Yeah, and looks.
God, Archie.
Yeah, Javier. It's just like he had an accident.
Yeah,
It looks like he went to a barbecue gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
It could have been worse. It could have been.
Well, then y'all are back now. It's important.
I need to go somewhere. But he's gonna need another shower and maybe a change of clothes. He you know what, Archie? You can have you can borrow that shirt.
But I got it for
No,
you. It wouldn't
he
fit
will-
me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was
Like, well,
big
then
on
I will
you.
leave
Yeah,
him in
the
your
big-
capable,
massive-
I'd be
fashionable
wearing a-
hands.
I'd be wearing a dress.
But to say that when Victoria's like, no, that was like, all right, then I'll leave him in your capable, fashionable hands, and he just carries him to the tile of the bathroom so he doesn't leave blood through the place, and like puts him down in the tub again, like a baby who just messed itself.
Oh.
While he's doing that, Victoria will yell out, "Please, if you could make your trip quick, preferably within 20 minutes. We now have an appointment with the prince in an hour and a half, and I like to be punctual. So, on the clock."
Right? Can I take the car?
No. Why would you? No, of course not. Where are you going?
It's Sunday.
Okay, where? Yes, where are you going?
Mass.
I can
Is
just imagine like Victoria blue screening at that statement.
Oh. Isn't
Bastard gets it.
there's a church down the road, isn't there? Just walk there.
Yeah, I looked it up in your weird phone book.
My weird. Yep. Yes, you can walk. Make it back. Run.
Yeah, it's not far. You could definitely
Mm-hmm.
get there pretty quickly.
Good,
I'll give you 30 minutes. All right.
You want someone to come with you? I mean, you're new to the area and all.
So are you.
Sure. Probably look less weird if I don't
I mean-
show up by myself.
Yeah, I've been here for like, I've been here a couple months.
All right. Well, I guess we're on the clock, so we might as well get out of Dodge.
All right. I'll ask those questions when I come back, Miss Victoria. It shouldn't take too long. But we'll be
Ask
back.
in the car. I have a rat to deal with.
Okay. Just
Could've been
deep
worse.
deep
There was
breaths,
someone out
and we'll be
patrolling
back.
tonight.
So we fade in.
Don't worry, I took care of it.
We fade in on a church, sort of tucked away in a side street. It's not big. It's not one of the grand cathedrals that Melbourne has. It's relatively small. It's old though. It dates back to the 19th century, which is old in Australia. So, but you sort of make your way in. Mass has already begun, but it's very sparsely attended. There's maybe one or two people at the back who look like maybe they're drunks who are trying to see if a little divine grace will make their nightly escapades seem a little lighter on the conscience. There's an old woman dressed all in black who's sitting up near the front, but that's about it. And the priest is in the midst of the mass. He's still, he's not really, he's doing his church priest mass guy thing. As you walk.
Vatican II had happened by the 80s, yeah. It's not in Latin.
I wanted to say he was doing the Latin right, but Vatican II had happened, so he's just doing
I do know Latin.
Yeah, but he's not doing the Latin right. Which even as Javier, given that time and your age, you probably are still adjusting to that potentially. Oh, it's up to you. Anyway, but he's giving mass, and they're
Astrid, you'll see that he does something like he does some automatic gesture as he like crosses the threshold, and we'll probably go ahead and take stand probably somewhere near the back as well.
Just like in futility, just kind of mimic your gesture, whatever it is you did, and she'll follow you.
As the mass kind of wears on, the old lady seated in the front kind of starts looking around a little bit, and she, by chance, just sort of glances over her shoulder and makes eye contact with you, Javier, and she sort of smiles brightly and gestures you closer, and like sort of points at the pew.
Aw.
Like the pew's open and empty, and she gestures you closer.
I kind of do that, that where you point to yourself in question, like,
And she's nodding. She's
Are
like,
you-
she's nodding. And she's like, yes. The priest doesn't seem bothered by any of this. The priest is caught in the. He's got mass fever. He's loving it.
yeah, Javier
That's
will
fucking
lean
hell.
over and whisper, in 10 minutes, walk up there and give me an excuse to leave.
Oh, all right, sure. I'll just
And-
I'll be here.
Just tell him that you have a meeting with a vampire prince. You gotta
Yeah,
go.
that'll go over great.
Yeah.
Which also, Astrid, you do see that he does have a cross on like a very like small, like thin necklace chain.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
that
saw
he's
it
had under
before.
his shirt. But now he's got it over his
Yeah.
shirt instead of tucked away.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he'll meander over there. He's kind of slouching a little bit because he's very tall and is
Yeah.
very aware of there's a lot of eyes on him.
She's sort of she's like she's got. I'm not gonna do it because I don't think I could do it justice. But she does have a Spanish accent. Sort of kind of blended with Australian because of many years sort of being here. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing in the back?
He's kind of looking around like, is someone gonna care if I speak in the middle of this?
She doesn't seem like she's whispering, but she's not. But no one seems to mind that she's talking.
So he'll just whisper back, didn't want to interrupt. And it's very clear he has an American accent.
Oh no, Father, he goes on and on. He you can't interrupt him. And I don't mean that to say you shouldn't. I mean it as to say it is impossible to do,
He's one of those priests who gives like a 20-minute homily.
which he's currently in the middle of.
Yeah.
Every single memory of having to attend mass
Yeah.
every time I visited my grandparents is coming back.
Yeah. I went to a Catholic school, so I know the feel.
She extends like a withered old lady hand towards you and says the storyteller forgot my name and is now looking it up really quickly.
Antonia.
And that's right. My name's
Damn, how did
Antonia.
Javier know that so quick?
I'm Antonia. How are you? What's your name?
Javier.
Ooh, a good Spanish name. I moved here. I moved here years and years ago. But I
Could
still
say
like.
I'm fresh off the boat.
Oh, you sound a bit American.
You'd be right.
Interesting. You've just gotten here. Well, I'm glad to see that you have your priorities in order.
He just kind of chuckles a little bit.
Anyway,
Astrid, this is the nicest and like most well-mannered you've seen him since you met him.
Good.
Astrid, while you're standing at the back, the two sort of drunk people sitting in the back, you notice that one of them has just nodded off completely. It's just like sunk so forward, and is like almost in danger of snoring. And the other one is like awake, but kind of like their eyes are so wide that you wonder if maybe they're not just drunk.
They
kind of staring.
found God somehow.
He's like just staring forward and nodding, like, oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
He's just having an extremely religious experience.
And
I'd
yeah,
say-
looking from where you are, you can see Javier having what looks to be a nice conversation with this old lady.
He's smiling. It's weird.
Wow. Didn't realize you had the muscles for that.
And I'm gonna say that Javier's like in conversation with this old woman, and the 10 minutes that Javier gave you elapse fairly quickly, and they're
Okay.
still
He's
talking.
probably switched to Spanish.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh,
both talking in like hurried kind of like hurried Spanish. Like there's different dialects, but they're understood. And
Astrid's from Texas.
Yeah.
She hears plenty of Spanish.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll wander over. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but Javier, we gotta get going, man.
Oh, pardon, kid sister. I said I'd take her to the roller rink.
family's very important. You should. There's plenty of time to take mass. There's another one tomorrow.
Well, I don't know how often I'll be able to make it, but
Oh,
thanks. It was lovely meeting you. And he will refer to her as I don't have the last name, but whatever the last name is.
Olguin. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but Olguin.
Where is that thing? Give me the thing. Olgun. Yeah, so he calls her Senora Olgun or Olgun.
She says,
Uh,
"Well, hopefully
and
I'll see you around."
he nods. And then will politely excuse himself and
She sort of waves at Astrid and says, "Have fun at the roller rink."
Oh, I will.
she really
Yep.
does kind of look like she's dressed for the roller rink, doesn't she?
Yeah, sorry, I have to pull them away. I forgot. In my excitement, I forgot my rollerblades.
That's okay.
So we gotta go pick those up first.
Those
You
don't
have a nice
exist yet, by
time.
the way.
And to sell it, he's gonna like reach over and ruffle your hair.
Oh man, I just had it right.
It's like you'd forget your head if it wasn't attached.
Probably.
Should our scene fade into the four of you in your car or after you've stopped off to get Archie his change, unless you want to delve into the cleaning of Archie again?
Well, I just want to ask Victoria, like, what were because Victoria, I'm guessing, has picked what Archie is now wearing. I assume this is the first time I'm not wearing my Chewbacca costume.
Yes.
So yeah, what is Archie wearing?
Victoria would have very reluctantly gone to her closet and found the oldest like business suit she had
Archie
that
in a
she was
suit.
willing to like throw out, but even because she's just a bit bigger than her and it is a women's cut, it doesn't quite like sit right, and she's just sitting on the front of the hood of the car while they're waiting for the like others to come back and just like pulling it down over his shoulders and just like pushing back his hair.
Stop
and
squirming.
she's like wiped his face clean. She's like really babying him, like, please God, why do these cowlicks never just sit flat?
So you're all in the car. I'm gonna cut to your arrival at the Windsor Hotel. It's an uneventful trip across the bridge through the CBD. There's traffic, obviously, because it's the night, but it's Sunday night, so it's Sunday night, so it's relatively quiet because people got work on Monday, and it's not quite the the all night town that it might become in the future. When you find a parking spot outside the Windsor Hotel on Spring Street, it's sort of overlooking the Treasury buildings and the Parliament building for Victoria. Victoria the state, not Victoria the vampire. And you as you sort of get out, none of you have been here before. This is maybe you know of this place, but you've not been here before. It's a new experience, and getting out of the car and going into the lobby. I'm going to say that there is a man standing outside where you might find the doorman at most hotels, and when he sees you sort of moving up the footpath or the sidewalk with Archie, he kind of immediately straightens up and walks over towards you, and he takes a look at all of you before he sort of focuses on Victoria and says, "We have the executive entrance for you.
Executive entrance.
If you follow me, and he sort of leads you through a side door. It's a door into like a bar, but the bar is shut. So you find yourself sort of going through a bar with like the chairs put up on the bar and the tables sort of overturned to make space. And he leads you straight through there into and out the back into a corridor and a back staircase that leads to the upper floors. And waiting on the landing of that staircase, you see a woman that you've not met before. And Fen, if you'd like to describe Letizia.
Letizia is where are we right now? Are
You're-
we at the place?
Yeah, you're sort of you've been there waiting for an audience with the prince also. Well, you've been summoned, like the prince has asked you to attend, and you're waiting
Right.
waiting on the landing of the stairs where you've been just sort of told to wait.
She is wearing a pretty much like business attire, black pants, white leg, and a cardigan on top, layered with a shirt and a vest. Very proper, very prim, long, dark, thick black hair. She almost looks like she has perennially like bedroom eyes. And always looking like at something that seems to not be there. That's what she's.
So that's what you guys see as you are shown up this staircase, and the man who sort of led you here says, "If you'll just wait here, you'll be summoned shortly." And then he goes back down, and you find yourself waiting. And this isn't the grand staircase of the hotel. This is like one of the back ones used by the service staff. So the walls are kind of a dull, like yellowy paint color, but the stairs are carpeted, but the carpet is worn from like many years of footfalls up and down. And the light maybe is like fresh fluorescent light, so maybe a bit too uncomfortable to be under. But yeah, you find yourselves just sort of standing here as a group, waiting. There's no seats. There's no literature. There's nothing. There's no one else here with you. There's nothing like to sort of indicate where to go or when to go there. You're just kind of left here on the landing.
Javier's gonna look at Archie's very ill-fitting suit and pull out a little like travel sewing kit and several safety pins and try to get to work making this actually look like it will fit him.
I forgot to mention that Letizia is pretty tall. She's like a big woman. She's 6 feet, pretty much 5'9". Classic, like Italian curvaceous build.
Did you just say 6 feet pretty much and then say 5'9"?
Yeah, I did. I did say that.
Everyone else is either
Well, she's
at
technically
or
over
lower.
6 feet because she's wearing some heels, so
Okay,
she
that makes more
technically
sense.
is. So anyway, Letizia, as soon as she hears movement coming up, will turn around and look at you guys. Hello?
Hi. I'm Archie.
Good evening.
Hello there.
Good
I think
evening.
Javier's the only one taller than you.
Well, are you here to talk to the prince as well?
Yes, we're here to make our introductions.
Yeah, right. Um. Uh. Did I know that I was part of a coterie, or was I just summoned here without really being told anything?
They didn't really. Yeah, you weren't told anything. Obviously, you've got your own uh, issues that have been concerning you at the moment,
Mhm.
without going into them. But the the prince, as the sheriff, just called you, asked that you
Mhm.
be here, gave you a time.
Mhm.
Your sire has been very close and like not quite an alliance, but working very closely with the prince for the last several years, and
Mhm.
uh, you're very comfortable with meeting, going to court and meeting other. Even though you don't technically count yourself as a kindred of the Camarilla,
Mhm.
you have been here enough that you are comfortable with them.
I'm comfortable. I've
Yeah,
been here several
yeah.
times, and I've
You,
seen.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You've
Okay.
met the
But I
prince. You've
have
met the
never
sheriff.
seen these people
You've never seen these
before.
people. None of them. Um,
I see.
but you've met the prince. You've met the sheriff. You've met the primogen. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay. 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 Um. It, I look at my watch. At my Rolex. Yeah. I look at it and I'm like, are you scheduled to be here at this time? I don't know what time it is, but I'll say a time that is now.
I'd say it's about 8:30.
Are you scheduled for 8:30?
And you are, yes. You're all scheduled at the same time.
Victoria will roll up her own sleeve for her own Rolex. Just like, yeah, we are. No. Yes, that would be our time. You as well.
Yeah, yes, 8:30.
Eight
Um,
8:30. Fantastic.
I don't believe I have seen you all around here
Um,
ever before.
I live in the sewers.
Hmm,
no, we are sans Archie here, are relatively new to this city.
I see. Well, welcome. I suppose you guys are doing introductions.
Yes, that is the plan. I'm Victoria, by the way.
Letizia,
Pizza.
it is a pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine. This ragtag group that I have somehow adopted is Archie, and she pets the little one on his head.
Aw.
Astrid
Archie.
and
Oh.
Javier.
He looks up with like two safety pins and it being held in his mouth and goes, huh? And then goes back and is like, stuff Gorman.
Astrid will wave.
I say I'm not squirming, and then Raphew pops his
It's
head out from underneath the clothes.
After you sort of introduce yourselves and make your introductions to one another, she cannot be described as nothing less than statuesque. Maybe like the most stunning woman you've ever seen. She's blonde. Her skin is perfect. She's obviously employing the blush of life to give her like that 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 sort of vigor that many kindred just either don't bother with or can't quite attain. And she sort of she steps out of the door and she glides through it. The door almost opens of its own accord, and she sort of looks at the five of you and says, immediately points at Javier and says, "You must be. You can't." And then she looks at Victoria and she's like, Are you the Toreador?
No.
Who is?"
And Victoria glances at Javier, just like, Toreador?
Really?
He's doing all he can not to like snort in laughter.
I am.
No.
I. Really? Really? Things
And
are different overseas, aren't they?
he kind of like shrugs and looking Victoria's way. Never asked.
Oh. And then
He's gonna silently be looking between the two parties, like, what is going on?
um she then points at Archie and says, "Obviously, you are the little Nosferatu man."
Yeah.
If
I'm Archie.
if Archie makes any move to like approach or like sort of like shake her hand or anything, she's like, no, 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 there is fine.
I imagine Archie's still being
Javier's
held
got
down by.
him.
Yeah.
Then she looks to Victoria and says, "So you're the blue blood from up north. That's you."
That would be me, yes.
Oh, very, very pleasant.
Thank
I'm only used to Mr. Adams, and he is not so pleasant. Leticia, it's a pleasure as always. Leticia, you
Always.
recognize this woman, but we'll go into that a bit more later. And then she turns to Astra and says, "And you are the reason for our little soiree. Did you know that Dr. Cypher has come all the way out? He's pulled himself away from his books, out of his little caverns and away from his grimoires, just for you."
Oh, wow. I mean,
I won't spoil the party. I won't spoil the surprise. But it'll be very interesting to see what he comes up with. I hope you've eaten.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm glad you've all dressed for the occasion, to various degrees of success. My name is Maria. I am, well, I would call myself, His Grace's aide de camp. I assist him with matters of our society and etiquette and protocol and presentation. You've met his other child, who is more down to business than I am. Perhaps has less flourish than I do. But why should I keep you waiting? You are to meet him, and let me go over a few ground rules. Do any of you have cameras or perhaps like Walkmans? Or I know it's a silly question, but I have my reasons. Do you have anything like that on you?
Archie shakes his head.
Oh man.
Javier zips the jacket down just enough to start going through his pockets.
Obviously, if you're carrying weapons, it's ill-advised. I could just let you keep them. I don't think you'd manage to do much damage with them. But I will ask that you relinquish them. They'll be returned to you and kept in the utmost condition.
Ratthew pops up on my shoulder and I said, "Does he count?"
She points at Ratthew and says, "No, he can't come in."
Oh.
I appreciate the Nosferatu affinity for rats, but I am afraid His Grace does not share that affinity. And she's really like wrinkling her nose up, like, please, can he?
I gently put Ratthew down on the ground and say, "Wait here, buddy."
Just to fuck with this Toreador, Javier gives the rat scritches.
Oh. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't help but agree, ma'am.
And he does pull out a Walkman and some headphones and is like, "Can I just give you the batteries?"
No, leave that here, please. His Grace.
Oh, Ratthew can listen to some music.
His Grace is very. We try to keep his environment simple. Letizia,
Getting
you
his
would
back,
know.
right?
Yes, absolutely, you would get them back. Letizia, you'll know the rules of like, we don't bring technology in front of the prince, and you've experienced all of this before. And Maria kind of looks at you and says, "Letizia, thank you for your patience. I know you're a dab hand at all of this, but we have to. You're all sort of entering as one."
It is okay. Don't worry, Maria. You know that this is totally fine.
Yes.
I understand. New people need to know the rules, and it is important to let them know. So,
Absolutely, thank you. So you will all need to remain standing, unless you're invited to sit. Do not speak unless you're spoken to. And obviously, His Grace's preferred method of address is Your Grace. No prince, no sir, no my lords. He is very particular about his form of address. Certainly don't refer to him by name.
That's okay, because I don't even know his name.
oh, you definitely do not
can't
want to do
remember.
that. I remember a specific time, and
Yes,
it was not pretty.
Yes, it's
That man's head flew before I even blinked. Oh my god.
the cleanup was. It took so long. And
It was quite a thing, yet. Yeah.
the Windsor
Yes, I
Suite has
remember.
not been the same. We've had to move all our dealings to the Royal Suite.
Oh, those stains don't go away from old furniture. It's very, very difficult, very impossible.
Antiques.
Yeah,
And
antiques.
Maria takes like a moment to sort of look down and shake her head sadly, and then she sort of immediately she peps up and says, "Anyway, everyone except the rat, and please come follow me, and keep in mind the rules I've told you. Respect, respect, respect. The 3 R's. Can I get you to repeat that for me?"
Respect. Respect.
Respect.
And then Archie thinks for a second and says respect again.
Well done.
Javier says this as he pops a very clearly hand penciled mixtape out of the Walkman, stows the tape, and then puts the Walkman where I guess wherever there's a flat surface.
Maria kind of wrings her hand and says, "Don't pull the tape out in front of him. I'll let you keep it as a show of good faith, but please don't bring it out. Keep it inside your many pockets."
It's
Yeah,
really
it
not
goes
worth
into
it.
it goes into an interior pocket, and you hear a small zip.
I say, yeah, it's probably best to keep that on you. Raphael likes long, straight things like, tape.
Wires.
Maria
Phone
turns
cords.
to Letizia and says, "Surely the zips won't be a problem, you don't think?"
No. He got better after we came over here and explained a few things. I believe that Donato did a good job
Yes.
attenuating a little bit. He understands at least science now, which is very
Wait,
nice. But
this man's got a thing against zippers.
He is
he
mm,
uh,
he is a practitioner of the old ways. Let's put it that way.
very old ways.
Yes, very old ways.
Very old.
It has taken about time. I've been here 8 years about
Yes.
for my master to be able to do a few things that we wanted to do just because of equipment. I could not say that word for a second.
Yeah, I was
um
worried I was gonna have to go change my pants.
so yeah, interesting man. Just do not bring stuff from now around him. That is it. And zippers are strange, I guess, but not impossible.
So Maria claps her hands together and says, "All right, here we go." And she leads the way. So when you come out of this stairwell, you're immediately in a very plush corridor, like a hotel corridor. Like this is clearly meant for guests. The carpet is is red and thick with fancy patterns on it. There's antique tables set up against the walls with like vases and potted plants in them, and there's two like a suite entrance with the double doors, and standing in front of it is the man who spoke Cantonese that was with the sheriff in the warehouse. Letizia, you recognize him as a ghoul in like that serves the prince, like as he's kind of like his head of security.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he sort of looks to you, Letizia, and nods his head like in greeting, like he
I nod.
recognizes you. Maria kind of like pats him on the shoulder, and he just sort of, no sells it, just stares forward, ignores her completely. She's like, "Thank you." And then she opens the door into the suite, and you see it's almost like a parlor scene out of a period movie. There's a man in a forest green suit who's sort of leaning against the fireplace, which is obviously not lit. He has red hair. It's sort of closely cropped in a style that's maybe 70 years out of date. And he has a mustache as well. He's sort of looking out the window in contemplation. There's another man who looks like older, like graying at the temples. His hair's thinning a bit, and he's wearing a black suit, like an all black suit, and he's got a silver cup in his hands, which he's kind of running his finger around the edges, the top of it. And seated at the table in the center of all this is a man who's dressed in very clear like 19th century fashion, like a cravat but with frills and like pantaloons, that kind of stuff. And he looks like the cover of a romance novel, like the tall blonde, muscular hero who, think Fabio, sort of, kind of that look. His hair is shorter though, and it's kind of swept, parted at the side and swept at the side. And he's sitting, and he looks the most relaxed. The other two are both standing, and they look like they're waiting on him. And he looks at all five of you as you enter, and he says, our famous four, and obviously Letizia, a pleasure as always.
Always a pleasure, Your Grace.
I would like to. I don't want to waste any time here. I've got things to do. I've got places to be. I'm sure you do things of an evening. I mean, why wouldn't you get out there and scurry about? Then he sort of points at Archie, and while making little faces, roll around in the stables, that sort of thing.
Archie nods.
Yeah.
Like,
so he says the first thing I want to do, and he points at Astrid, says, I want you to take this, and he sort of slides a very ornate looking like blade, like dagger, across the table towards you. So I want you to take this, cut your wrist, and empty it into this cup, into Dr. Cypher's cup. And it's a silver cup that he's sort of holding, and Dr. Cypher sort of steps forward, and he gives you like a pleasant look, like a doctor, just like a very pleasant man, despite his kind of like spidery, wispy grey features. And he holds the cup out to you, and he says, just enough to fill the cup. Just enough, as much as you can spare.
Of course, Your Grace.
So that's a rouse check if you do it.
I mean, I'm going to do it. I think it's been made very apparent that I should do whatever they're asking me to do.
So as you do that, and the blood, you kind of have to will it out of your veins, because as Kindred, it doesn't flow unless you kind of make it flow. So it kind of
Mhm.
You have to squeeze it out
Yeah.
like toothpaste.
yeah, it just kind
Thank
of
you for that mental image.
Yeah, no, I'm not happy about it either.
it just sort of oozes like ichor out into this cup until the cup is full, and then you can easily just will that cut closed.
Yeah.
But you do feel the beast inside sort of say, "What? Why are we giving up blood? We don't have enough of it as it is. Why are we giving it? Why are we giving it up to these old fucks?" And then Dr. Seifert sort of takes the silver cup and he goes, "I won't be a moment. Thank you." And he sort of he doesn't seem like he's a social guy. He just kind of says thank you, and he sort of he steps into another room with kind of like one of those folding partitions as a door, and he closes it, and then he's gone, and the prince looks at you, Asher, and says, "You're very obedient. You'll go far."
Thank you.
Now, which one of you is our Toreador from overseas?
Would be me.
Would it?
And this whole time he's had like a hand on Archie's shoulder and that like
Aw.
I'm keeping you in place, but also like, hey, maybe don't freak out on us.
Mhm.
Is it you? That would be you. I would have guessed. I would have guessed this lady here, and he points to Victoria. So you must be our Ventru.
That would be correct, Your Grace.
Obviously, Mr. Adams wasn't able to attend. He is your. I hesitate to call him a member of the Primogen, but for lack of a better candidate, it is a function that he's serving currently.
See.
But so says to Javier. So you owe a boon to our sheriff, who has agreed to be accountable for you until such a time as you're fit to be accountable for yourself. Have you discussed that at all? I'm assuming not.
Not to my knowledge,
Yes,
Your Grace.
she does love her secrets. Anyway, that's not so. And our the Nosferatu.
Yes. Hello, Your Grace.
Yes. Letitia, I'll not drag you on or lead you on any longer. I'll explain why you're here. I have business that needs attending. Important business, not just a single objective, a single mission quest, what you'd like to call it, but a role that needs to be filled within my domain. And you 5 are going to fill that for me. You are going to keep the masquerade. Keep it in place.
Where?
The domain everywhere. We are having go
On Your Grace. In all the domains of the Camarilla?
no, obviously this domain, the domain of Melbourne, my domain.
Okay.
Let the other Camarilla kindred look after themselves. We have our and he looks vexed for a moment, and he sort of grits his teeth a little and says, "Our Bruja Primogen is is notably absent. I think you'll find while I don't distrust him, and the way he says it suggests that he does. I don't distrust him. He is very much a man who follows his passions. And that is, with our society, our way of doing things is not always the best, which I'm sure you can all appreciate, even as even those of you that are new to the blood. I am not asking you to watch him. Obviously, I would not ask such thing. As a Primogen, he is respected and his loyalty is beyond reproach. But the masquerade must be maintained. It is of the utmost importance. I am told that there are ways now of taking these breaches of the masquerade and keeping record of them beyond the moment. I'm not interested in the how. I am only interested in making sure that this does not impact us. And as four of you are new kindred to the domain, I'm sure you can find your way into the good graces of our many fine citizens without raising too many suspicions. And Letizia is well respected, as is her sire. And I believe she will be an exceptional fit for the group.
Well, it is my honor of your trust. Thank you, Your Grace.
Archie is smiling very wide. He didn't understand a lot of the talk about the masquerade and whatnot, but he's happy he has a new friend.
You will all be reporting directly to the sheriff as hounds. And you will have the duty of hounds, which I am very sorry to tell you is sometimes a brutal and thankless chore. But if you want to climb the ladder of success, you need to sometimes deal with the shit that flows downhill. Do you know what the primary role of the hound is? And he points to Victoria.
Of course, Your Grace. We are to assist your sheriff in any which way she requires.
That is correct. But we have a pressing issue that you will be focusing on. The clanless. They are rife. Kindred whose blood is so diluted that they do not even know to which bloodline they belong. They are a danger and a threat. They are easily manipulated by anarch agitators and worse. And most of them are unfamiliar with our traditions and break them either on a whim or on purpose. They need to be dealt with, and that will be your role, dealing with them. And I mean permanently dealing with them. I don't want to hear about them being ushered out of town or an affair where you teach them all the manners of kindred court in an evening. I want them gone. And you will do that for me.
Archie just looks very uncomfortable at this.
Archie, you're the only one who's going to notice that Javier's grip on your shoulder is pretty tense now.
Yeah.
If I may, Your Grace.
You may.
How long have you had an issue with these caintiff?
I've had an issue with them ever since they've started to crawl out of the woodwork. Part of it, I believe, is the doing of certain kindred who embrace rather loosely. I believe I know who they are, but obviously I don't know for certain, and that will be part of your role as hounds to work out where these clanless come from. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, Your Grace, there will be no issue with that.
And obviously, our other goal in tandem is to protect the masquerade, which you are doing by removing these clanless. And that's when the partition door opens and Dr. Cypher re-enters. He has a silver cup, but it's the blood inside it is gone now, and he sort of placed it down on the table. And the prince looks to him and says, "Dr. Cypher, do we have an answer?" And Dr. Cypher sort of pushes his glasses up his nose and says, "I believe we do." He sort of looks to Astrid and says, "We sorry for not explaining myself immediately. We were taking your blood to conduct a ritual which allows us to discern your origins, as we are aware that you are not familiar with your clan or your sire. Obviously, the tradition states that you and your sire, whoever they may be, should be destroyed for being created without His Grace's permission. However,
Archie looks really worried at that.
However, His Grace has beneficently chosen to not enact that tradition in your case. However, you will be held to accounting by another kindred. In this case, I believe he's chosen, and he sort of looks to the prince, and the prince sort of nods and waves his hand and says, "Leticia, you will be accountable for Astrid and teaching her the ways of our court. Obviously, you're all welcome to help. You seem like a tight-knit, lovely group. But that is what His Grace has chosen. Does that make sense?"
Yes, Your Grace. I will do my best.
Wonderful.
If I can ask a question, My Grace, about the process. Is there something I would have to know about it? Perhaps I should talk to the doctor?
Well, I don't think you really need to worry about the whole magical process behind it all. All you really need to do is treat Astrid as though they were your own child. And once you have every ill that they do will be considered an ill done on your part. Does that? We can obviously go over the fine details later, but for now. But Doctor, I really must know where does our guest, our newest a member of our jolly band come from? And Dr. Cypher says they are of the Philosopher clan, the Bruja. And their sire is, and before he can finish, the door swings open, and Astrid, you see the man from your vision. He's wearing, he's not shirtless this time. He's wearing like an ill-fitting kind of suit, like the sort of suit that maybe he sort of bought on the way here almost. And you recognize him instantly, and Dr. Cypher says, "Speak of the devil." And the man the bald man in the suit sort of comes in and says, "Mr. Taylor sends his regards. Can't make it. He sent me here in his place." And you can see the look on the prince's face is just one of very cold and calculating fury. His jaw is clenched, and he says, "Very good. Then sit down and be quiet." And the Brewheart doesn't sit. He moves over and leans against the wall with his arms crossed near the man in the green suit, who has said nothing this entire time. And Dr. Cypher sort of turns to you, Astrid, and says, "Well, I didn't think you'd meet under these circumstances, but there you are."
She's just, as soon as she saw him, her eyes had just been fixed on him. She hasn't looked at the doctor. She hasn't looked at the prince.
He kind of
She's just like dumbfounded.
the guy in the suit, yeah, that you kind of looks back at you and says, "Take a fucking picture, it'll last longer." And the prince says, "Well, that certainly explains some things. Regardless of your sire making his presence known, I maintain my ruling. Mr. Fenris," and he sort of points to the man in the suit and says, "is not. I don't believe the education of a fledgling is in his nature." And he says, "You're not fucking half wrong there. Well, now that we've all had our meeting and we've all met one another, you've all introduced yourselves, let me tell you the rewards for taking on this arduous burden. Domain, the place you've already visited, the warehouse, the Cood Island. That's yours. Obviously, Leticia has her own domain, but she will share in yours also. It's up to her whether she chooses to share her domain with you. I leave that purely up to her and her sire. That will be yours. The warehouse is yours to do with as you see fit. And if there's any more domain in the west that you can secure for our interests, you're welcome to keep it within reason. Do you have any questions? I suppose I should ask."
Archie has a lot of questions going for what he said, but unlike normal, he thinks better than asking because he is terrified right now.
When Archie sort of like looks like he's going to ask, the prince sort of locks eyes with him, and it's an uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Like,
Archie
you don't
very
sense,
quickly.
for the way that he like talks and the way he like sounds pleasant. When you look into his eyes, you don't see anything pleasant there. You just see
No.
you see like something mean would be the best word.
No, Your Grace.
Oh. Well, anyone else?
I believe we have a lot to discuss within ourselves, and I believe that it will not require any more of your precious time, Your Grace.
Very
If
good.
if there is anything else that you want to add before we take our leave.
No, I believe that's it. I've had enough. I'll be in, and he sort of turns to he sort of, when he clicks his fingers, a security man from outside steps in and he says, "I'm going to the club." And he sort of gets up and just strolls out of the room, and you're all kind of left there, with the other Primogen who have sort of deigned to attend, and they kind of look at you for a bit.
Is the Nosferatu Primogen here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Because I've met her.
Yes, you have. She's
Yeah.
You're relatively like, except with the exception of the kindred in this group, she's the kindred that you're closest to.
Yeah, that's what I
But
thought.
she doesn't appear to be here.
Okay.
As you and you kind of get ushered out, and you once again find yourselves on the landing. You can probably take the stairs down and leave if you choose to, but I'll let you decide where you go from here.
Well,
I turn the Walkman to my person.
Oh yeah,
I pick
all
up.
your things come. You get your things back.
I pick up rat for you.
Yeah.
You all just
I,
see
and
Astrid. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I say to him, "Are you doing okay?
Yep. Good.
Cool.
No
cool."
food.
I put in.
Bad.
I'll get you some food soon.
Yep. Cool.
I give him a little scratch under the chin.
And once we are no longer in the presence of all of the Primogen and whatnot, Javier will kind of loosen that grip that he had on Archie's shoulder the whole time.
Archie, you
Yeah.
have fingerprints in your skin.
Yeah. Victoria, I think we need to talk,
I think we might.
but not here. I say,
Not-
looking around.
probably not the best. We should probably go elsewhere.
Well, wait. Can I go back in there?
No,
But
apologies, Astrid. There is absolutely no way that we are allowed back in there.
that man.
Yes.
Let us talk. I do have a big responsibility over my shoulders now. So let us go to. I will show you my domain. At least it would be best if you knew what it was.
Very
All right.
well. We came by my car. How can we follow you there?
Of course, probably my family drivers is probably outside at this point still.
Yes.
Delightful. Thank you very much.
So are we going to go straight to Lygon Street, which is essentially the Little Italy of Melbourne. It's in the northern sort of. So where you are, if you just sort of keep going north, you'll north and a little bit west, you'll meet it. So you can head up. You sort of drive your way there. Do you take them to? Where do you take them in your domain, Letizia?
I'll probably take them to the mortuary home. Like
Okay.
I'll just take them there.
So
That's my spot. I have
Yeah.
my haven is down there. So
you follow Letizia up this stretch of road, and there's restaurants and bars all along it. It's very like the theme is it's very Italian. Like most of the restaurants and bars have Italian names. It's relatively busy even for a Sunday evening. There's people having dinner out on the sidewalks, on the footpaths, or just sort of standing around talking, enjoying a glass.
Italians eat for 5 hours. So yeah, this is still dinner time.
They're still in the middle of dinner, yeah. And you sort of after you drive all the way along this street, and then you sort of turn off onto a side street and park outside of what looks to be a mortuary, and that's where Letizia has taken you.
Oh,
Delightfully
Javier-
sterile.
Javier will take the moment that we are in separate cars, where Letizia is in her car and we're in Victoria's,
Yep.
to be like, he has been biting his tongue this whole time, and once he is no longer in the company of even more strangers than the other rest of the coterie, he's just gonna be like, I don't know, that sheriff shit, she fucking stole me.
It seems we've all been put in a rather tenuous situation, Javier.
I don't
Am
know
I
I just
her.
thought I
working?
might, I just thought I'd be a little upfront about that decided fact.
Mm.
Can someone just answer me to
Of
make sure I'm actually understand the situation correctly? My sire, no. The man that murdered me
mhm.
is in the court that I'm supposed to work for. Is that right?
That tends to be the case, yes. Look, Astrid, this seems to be a very sensitive topic for you.
Sensitive.
Well, I
Oh God, did he kill Helen?
who?
She doesn't need to breathe, but she's taking a deep breath. She's just kind of holding her hands in her head. I can't. This. What the hell, man?
Mm.
This is when the beast is sort of is in your head, Astrid. Like, yeah, what the hell? What the fuck are these people doing? Why would you listen to them? Why would you do anything that they say? They're responsible for putting you in this situation. You're never gonna go out in the sun again. You have to drink blood. Blood. Nothing else. No other food. Just blood. What the fuck
Look,
is this?
I don't know about the rest of you, but I didn't ask for this.
Neither did I.
Yeah, Archie shakes his head.
So what, am I just supposed to play nice with him? This Mr. Fenris?
Unless you'd like your unlife cut tragically short.
Listen to me very closely for a second. I understand where you're coming from, and I can sympathize with the hurt you must be going through. But for now, I would suggest playing along. For the long term, we all have our own demons to deal with, and there is no law within our society that states you have to love and adore your sire. But we are all in a very precarious situation as of right now.
All right, I look. I get it, y'all. For y'all, I try. I will try.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just
That
do
is,
me one favor, please.
of course.
When it's just us, do not call him my sire.
What would you like me to refer to him as?
The
I can
shithead.
Shithead.
I was like,
I
I can think
you
of a
know
few
what?
names.
I like that. I like that, Astrid. Let's call him the shithead in private.
All right, fine.
And how are we feeling about our newest member?
He seems nice.
I mean, we should get to know her. Like,
I like
uh,
her.
I mean, she's
You
not
like
part of the
everyone,
she's
Archie.
she's not part of the court, right? She's more like a friend of the court.
She would be a member, but not
Uh,
to the same position as if everyone else. She's a co-worker. Let's call her that.
Well, I mean,
does Archie know about, like, how... Is it the Giovanni? I don't remember the name of the actual clan.
Well, yeah, this is
The family is the Giovanni, yeah,
Yeah.
but we are Hecata in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You probably
Does
haven't.
Archie know about
Archie
all
probably
that?
hasn't been sort of briefed. Maybe the Nosferatu Primogen that you're familiar with may have sort of spoken about it very briefly as sort of like, you know, letting you know who to know. And you would know that the Giovanni who are part of sort of the clan of death, as she referred to it. But they're the only sort of ones of that bloodline in the city. And you know that this area is traditionally been held by them since, you know, for over 80 years. You know about them. You don't really know anything beyond their
Right.
name. Like they are secretive to a level that sort of almost puts you to shame. Like they keep everything under lock and key. And you just like beyond knowing where they are, like, and sort of, geographically where they tend to hang out, and you don't even know for sure how many of them there are. There's 2 that sort of have shown up at court, but there could be more because they don't really have to abide by the prince's laws on that front. So yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the rest of you, I don't know, would have a lot of experience with the Clan of Death, specifically. I don't know about Victoria because where Victoria's from is largely sort of concerned with 2 sects, of which neither of those sects is one that the Hekata are part of. So they're probably not there.
Yeah. I would assume she knows the bare bones textbook explanation of what a Hekata is.
Someone would have told you at some point, yeah, but like this is you also don't even know for sure if that's what
No.
You guys have no idea what I really am.
Like Archie has an idea based on the fact that this is the domain that he knows belongs to them, but he doesn't really know anything about them. So you might not even be one. Like he doesn't have a concrete proof that you are. Like he only knows that there are two Hekata who have been present at court, but he doesn't know who they were, what their names were, what they looked like, or anything. So yeah, and that's when I'll sort of put you guys get out of the car and you're meeting up on the street outside this mortuary.
Archie seems a little more, like, okay now, right? He doesn't look like he's about to, like, piss himself, even though he can't really do that anymore.
Archie looks quite upset, but, like, not the type of... Like, it seems like something else is bothering him besides, the fact that he murdered a bunch of possums earlier.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same, like, look
he's
on
not
him as the...
Yeah, he's not terrified now, but he's very obviously very uncomfortable.
And Astrid. Like, how good is Astrid's poker face?
She's trying to keep one up. I don't know if she's succeeding.
Can you roll composure to see how good your poker face is?
I think that makes sense, right? Roll composure.
Yeah, if you want to, you can see how well you're keeping it together.
Do I roll anything else with it, or just composure by itself?
I would say just composure.
Okay.
Just a difficulty of, I would say, 2.
Oh boy.
Hard, but not too hard.
Oh, is that your lowest stat?
No, it's 2.
Okay.
My composure is.
Did it roll? Oh.
Oh God,
freaking
no.
out.
You're not only not holding it together, you are like you want to tear something apart. You want to, like, you're not a violent person, but the beast makes you feel like one of the most violent people on earth. Like this is anger like you never felt in life. Like, even if you stood on a Lego and stubbed your toe at the same time, this is like this is stronger than that. You are furious.
At some point, when we first got here, she stowed the steak in the glove compartment. At some point, she has the steak again, and she's just gripping it.
Yeah, you all see Astrid with the steak.
Oh, go ahead.
Go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was like, do I need to roll an insight to clock all of the stuff?
I'm gonna say,
like,
Letizia,
I don't think so.
You just see Astrid with the steak and looking angry. You're far enough away that, like, it might not be an immediately pressing concern, but it's not a great look for someone you just met and have also been told to, like, basically be vampire mother to for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I'm like the stepsire right now, and like this, I didn't even fucking know what the
stepsire.
Like, what the
I just imagined you wearing a shirt saying, "I'm not the stepsire, I'm the sire that stepped up."
Okay, I need this to come out as a meme because like it needs to happen. That's the best thing ever. I need that
I'll
shirt.
add it
No.
to the doodle list. But no,
yes.
Javier is
please.
basically like he's been kind of like hyper aware because he's been in this position before ish. And kind of like nudges Victoria and nods back to oh, I lost the words.
Yeah. Javier, could you be a dear and keep an eye on our two little friends? I will front this. And she motions towards everything around them.
Real quick, one of my flaws is crisis of faith. Whenever there's a bestial failure, take 1 point of superficial willpower damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
So yeah.
So
just,
what do I do?
So what you got to do
Aw.
is just open it up in your. So you'll see at the top of your sheet you've got, or near the top of your sheet you've got, health and willpower.
Yeah.
So just click the leftmost box, and it should have like a stripe through it. Yeah.
Yep.
And then that's
All right.
that's your willpower damage. That will recover, I
Okay.
think, with a rest or
Okay.
with a session, yeah, or a sleep. If you have, but yeah, generally, yeah, that's how. And if you click it again, it will become aggravated, but you don't take aggravated willpower damage unless you fill up your track
Gotcha.
completely.
Okay.
Or something actually is designed to cause aggravated damage. Aggravated damage is basically damage that doesn't heal as easily.
Right.
So, like for vampires, like when you take physical superficial damage, it's like a bullet does like superficial damage. Like it damages you, but you can heal it, in that turn if you've got enough, blood and stuff going. But aggravated damage lasts longer. If you take enough superficial damage, it turns to aggravated damage because you're just basically getting torn to shreds.
Right.
And that's the same thing applies to your brain with willpower.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically, you can be, there are some characters that are like a tank with mentally, but physically frail, and other way around. Like there are some characters that you would have to hack at for, ages to do damage, but then you can like make them a quivering mess with willpower damage pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you've taken willpower damage because of you're upset.
Yeah.
I say I imagine it's the you have that violent thought and you're like, oh God, was that me? Was that a thought I just had?
Yeah, because that's the thing. The beast feels like, sometimes it's like it's a voice that's speaking to you, but in this moment you kind of realize it's not like a foreign entity, it's your voice.
Yeah.
And it speaks the way that you speak, and it's telling you to do things that when you think about them, yeah, you want to do those things. But so it's one of those things where you sort of come to the realization at this point that when you became a vampire, the beast, maybe the beast wasn't sort of, didn't infect you so much as just wake up and was always there.
Mm-hmm.
At least that might be how you see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at Victoria's insistence, Javier will just kind of nod and kind of allow her and Archie to kind of go forward and kind of hang back and kind of also kind of I guess pace Astrid back with him.
Yeah.
And just kind of be like, hey, I know this fucking sucks, but we gotta be smart about this, all right? Look here, and he'll get out the Walkman, and you'll see him pop the very obvious handmade mixtape back into it, and be like, maybe see if you can find your center. I don't know. You look like we might have the same taste in music.
Thank you.
It's like, but if you're gonna use this, I'm gonna have to ask you to trade me. And he's gonna point to the stake.
Yeah, I don't want to cause anyone trouble.
Oh! Don't start crying, please. Don't start crying.
No, I'm just.
No.
Is everything
don't
okay over there?
Don't start crying.
No, I know. I know. All right. I got it.
I am going to say, though,
I cried the first full night.
with that bestial failure, I'm going to say that you are crying, and it's obviously it's not tears, it's blood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you sort of touch your face, Astrid, you'll see
Yeah.
that it's blood and not tears.
Son of a bitch.
Hang on.
I just,
And
I didn't think I was gonna.
Letitia will rush over and like just rush you guys into the door. Because this is not okay
yeah,
to be
no,
happening in the
Javier
middle of the
just
street.
Javier literally just kind of does that open like one half of the jacket and just kind of corral her under it so that way no one can see her face.
So
Let us go in, please.
the inside of the mortuary, I'm going to assume, is like most funeral parlors, where it feels like you're in your grandmother's living room. Or
So what I
or is it
was
something
thinking
else?
is this is classic like Victorian horror
Yeah.
house converted into a mortuary and extended multiple times as, you know, the Giovanni kind of established themselves and made this like one of the main hubs for things.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a gothic Victorian um vibe. So I guess yeah, a big grandma is in there, but it's creepy, but it's very very well maintained. It's beautiful. Just a bit haunting.
Is there anyone else
And obviously
around?
the lighting is um around this time, I would say that maybe a few ghouls would be around, kind of just like tending to the, I guess, more communal areas of the establishment.
Those are your sire's ghouls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. Those are not mine.
Okay.
Um,
So you're in this sort of
Uh,
secluded place, although there are some people milling around. Although Letizia doesn't seem to be concerned
It-
about them.
it's a mortuary. Someone crying into somebody's shirt is not going to be that weird.
Yeah.
it's after hours, so it should be fine. But yeah, as we're walking, I'm walking pretty much through it, to an area more in the back.
Yeah.
And what I kind of imagine is having the main, you know, embalming rooms and stuff like that, all of the where all the scientific processes of, you know,
Yeah.
making uh the the whole thing happen, right? So I bring them in one of them,
Yeah.
with a study or like a room with that is more like a study, but it's adjacent to one of these lab area.
Okay.
So definitely secluded in the back of the building. Usually an area that is not accessed by anybody else. You see that she's unlocking a few doors. She has like a set of keys on her. Um, so yeah, she just brings you guys in the room. There's a few seatings, a few like there's a two-seater, two armchairs in front of a big desk, ornate as all of the other things. Even though a little bit more sterile, probably this is one of the addendums to the original building itself. Uh, well, we are safe here. Nobody should come and bother us. We are alone. Um, Welcome in. Sorry for rushing you guys in, but
Oh,
no, no.
thanks. Uh, is there something I can use to wipe off my face?
yeah, yes. And Letizia will get up and go to the other room and just grab like a piece of like roll of paper and, you know, paper towels or whatever.
Yeah.
Something that she would probably have handy to like wipe surfaces down. Basic.
Javier just looks down at his once again bloodied shirt and just sighs a little bit.
Sorry, I'll clean it for
And
you.
he just zips the jacket back up.
Well, if it helps, you wouldn't have tried to put her face in like his shirt.
Oh no, he stuck your face there because he didn't want
Okay.
anyone to see it. But he also waited until Letizia like took you away to clean your face to do it because he's not an
Mhm.
ass. Well, he is an asshole, but not that much of an asshole. But Victoria definitely catches him just look down at his shirt, sigh, and zip the jacket back up.
My apologies for my cohort. She has had quite an evening, as you can probably guess.
I I am still a bit confused, but could I maybe roll, I don't know, what would I roll? Insight if I clocked it and understood the underlyings of that thing? Because
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
I would say wits plus insight. Yeah, like just to sort of see if you can like you have like the like the mental sort of like linguistics to like to understand what Astrid is going through.
Difficulty?
I would say just a 2 because Astrid's kind of wearing her heart on his sleeve at the moment. What?
Oh, gee!
Oh wow. Okay.
Holy
Damn.
shit!
How
How did you fail every
How-
die?
Oh my
I
god.
have no idea.
You,
Well.
this is such a new experience for you. Like you can't. Nah.
Odds
You're
of
just
that.
staring blankly at everyone.
Wow. Oh, okay. I will say that you not only don't understand, but it annoys you. Like you are maybe it's a time for a compulsion.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
mate.
usually what happens when you bestial fail?
Yeah. Maybe it's time for a compulsion. A compulsion for
Spin
you.
the wheel.
Okay, let me find a good one. that
Wheel
fits.
of morality.
Oh god.
You're not
It's
only
at
yeah.
this point that Javier just looks down and notices that he still has the steak. He traded it for the Walkman.
So you're not only don't understand, but you are like the chief kind of kindred here. You have the most experience, you assume, based on how the prince was treating them. You are like the fact that they have sort of have their own little thing is kind of irritating to you. It grates on you, and you kind of need to prove to them now that you are in charge. You are the dominant kindred here. You need to prove that, and that's you have to until you're not gonna like lose that feeling until you like they acknowledge that about you. So this basically means you can't use teamwork or perform actions that avoid establishing dominance. And if you try to, you'll have a -2 to your dice pools. That's until the end of this scene or until you sort of achieve your goal. But that's how you feel now because it's just like the fact that you've got bigger things to do. You've obviously got like new roles to fulfill here, and the fact that they're kind of worrying about this, whatever this is, you don't really understand, is irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Probably comes off like we're coddling her.
I'm sorry. I feel like I owe all of
I
you.
just need to say something right now because if not, we cannot start this with the right foot, and I cannot work if things are not organized. So I just got a lot of responsibility drop on me, and I see a lot of incompetence in front of me right now. Having you cry in the middle of the street at 9 p.m. Thankfully, this area is not very, walked around just because it is a mortuary house and, there is an area, a sort of vibe to our establishment and area. But what if somebody saw you? Everything that you do is reflected on me. Every choice that you do from now on is on me, no matter if I'm there or not. If you get in trouble, I get in trouble. And if we're getting in trouble 5 minutes after we started this, we are not starting right. Do you all follow until now?
Mm-hmm.
There's something you should probably understand. They set you up for failure because you just got a weak-old vampire that doesn't know shit all about what is going on here.
Javier once again is going to do that, put the shoulder between the two of them like he did between the coterie and Mr. X. It's
Look,
I
I have no
took care
problems
of
with
it.
you. I literally have zero problems with you.
No, I just need you to understand who the figure of authority is here, right now. Who it is.
Javier's just like, look, I took care of it. Nobody saw. I think
Today,
she understands the situation she's in.
do you?
Obviously, I do not, but how about we just talk about what we're supposed to do?
Well, apparently there is a problem with the cleanliness, and we need to figure out why. Which is something that honestly it is quite complicated. I wouldn't.
You said we had to kill people. I don't want to do that.
I believe that it is not smart to kill people right at the beginning. We need to understand the situation before we move in and do whatever. And the more people we kill, the less and more guarded this other faction will be. So that works against us. We
So,
can't go around murdering planless because that is what the prince told us to do. We say yes, we do things, but we have to be a little smart, a little strategic.
Archie relaxes a little bit after you say that killing people probably isn't the best option for now.
Listen, I am a mortician after all. I do love my job. I do this with a reverence. I respect death and have a very intense and deep connection to it because of my blood. So I believe that we need to understand that we need to scout the shadows first. We need to...
Within reason, Letizia, I believe we are under the direct command of the sheriff, are we not?
We are.
So
But I
should
believe
not...
the sheriff is a little bit more able to understand and talk to us and work together.
Of course, but should we not get her opinion on this whole situation? We have been given the bare minimum of information here.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I believe that is probably the next thing that we should do.
Letizia,
We should go speak to the sheriff and understand where these cases have been reported, investigate the areas, understand what we're working with, possibly identify, maybe talk to some of them in a guise. Who knows? Perhaps you have been around for less time. You are new faces. You could mingle and take some information in and listen, you know?
Letizia,
But
you
we
would have.
definitely.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna
So,
say you would
sorry, go
have
ahead.
you would have the sheriff's contact information. Like so far,
Mhm,
Victoria
mhm.
has just received calls at her haven, but you would have
Okay, okay, got it.
contact. Yeah, not like
Got it, got it, got it.
no cell phones, but like you would have a number to call. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a landline of
Yeah.
some sort. Yeah, right. Perfect. I can contact the sheriff. I have her landline number. So we can possibly set up a meeting and talk about what are the next steps. So yes, absolutely, I totally agree with you. Um, and I do have that contact, so I can just call her right away. And I will take out like my set of keys and unlock a um compartment under something really fast, as fast as I can, and take out a booklet with numbers on and get on the landline, put the number in.
Before you do that, Archie says that I also I've got a friend. Uh, she's the Primogen Nosferatu. I'm friends with her. She might be able to help.
Nosferatu have many ears, so I believe.
I've only got two.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Um,
She's a dumb fuck. Um, yeah, no, he says that he nods and says that I can talk to her.
sure, more information will only help and benefit us right now as we're trying to understand why these new kindred with I don't know. It is strange. Um, and I believe if we don't uproot the problem, then this will keep happening. We can kill as many as they want, but they will keep coming back. So let's make this call very fast. And Leticia will call. Unless anybody else has anything else to say, obviously.
Nope, Javier's not going to say shit. He's just going to put those headphones, make sure those headphones are on Astrid.
Victoria
And-
won't say anything, but she is very keenly observing Letizia.
oh yeah,
And
Javier's not getting in the middle
it's
of
not a
that.
very pleasant observation.
No, like Javier was like standing between Astrid and Letizia, but he is not getting in between those two.
So the phone rings a couple of times, and then a voice answers on the other end that obviously you recognize as the sheriff. As Letizia, I wasn't expecting Fenris to attend court. It's bad enough that Taylor would send an underling, but he sent an underling of an underling. This is unacceptable behavior. And to find out that he of all people is responsible for Miss Falkenberg is it abhorrent?
It is a waste of time. I do need to set up a meeting because apparently I have new responsibilities now, thanks to the our
Yes.
grace.
You
Um,
you are to be reporting to me as hounds. I
correct.
I would take advantage of your new coterie. They are not without their uses.
Sure. I just would like to understand what or where you would like us to scout around the problem that the prince brought up.
For now, stay out of Bruja territory. I feel after after tonight, I feel that it would not be in your coterie's best interest to spend too much time there. I feel that tempers would only flare.
I agree.
But the most obvious places to look would be the Anarch baronies. There, there are three. You obviously you know of the three. There,
Yes, I do.
I believe it is the, I believe it is the West barony, the Footscray barony. But that is just a suspicion. That is somewhere you could start.
The Footscray. Okay.
Yeah, the new barony. St Kilda barony. That is Kerry's. You know, Kerry is a Nosferatu anarch who's not quiet by any means, but largely to your mind harmless. The Inkerman Street barony doesn't seem like something that Kerry would accept.
Sorry, what was said about Carrie? I heard Nosferatu, and but I was looking at a message someone sent me.
It's on the phone. So Letizia,
Right. Oh, okay. So I
I
didn't
don't know
hear
that you
in
would hear it, but
character.
yeah, they're talking about. Yeah, but you obviously you know Kerry, but
Yeah, in the Carrie is in the Inkerman Street barony,
yeah,
and
but I don't.
so you said
I don't
to
think she would be
start.
the one.
No, I don't think either. Possibly then.
I would,
Uh,
if I had to make a suggestion, I would say pick the new barony. Footscray is dangerous. Perhaps too dangerous for you perhaps too dangerous for you just yet. But the new barony is leaderless, from what we hear, and you may be able to get around easier without raising suspicions.
okay, understood. Well, we will look around then and let you know what we find, if we find any.
Oh, I am here if you need any help. We have no assets we can spare you beyond the coterie that you have, but I can give you leeway if you need it.
I think with the fact that I barely go out at all, and the fact that we mostly have new faces here, we should be fine as long as we play it smart.
All right,
Oh no.
I'll take care. And then she hangs up.
Yep. Hang up. The sheriff says that we could start at the new barony up north from here. It is a lawless anarch territory. There is no one in command really. So she said to start there and to go around and I guess listen and see if anything of interest comes up. Again. Oh, go ahead. What?
No, I was just gonna say Archie nods. So
I sure hope the guy that gave us trouble last night isn't with that crew. He'd recognize us pretty quickly.
oh no.
What guy?
We had a run-in with a anarch, what I can only assume was a gangrel, yesterday evening.
Mm,
So all we have is a location to scout out. No leads, no further information. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah,
correct.
I can go talk to my friend.
That is correct, Archie. You know what? That would be quite helpful if you would mind doing that for us.
I haven't spoken to her for a little bit, so it'll be good.
Yes.
Archie, you would know
Um,
where she would be this time of night. Is a small cafe in, well, not a cafe, but like a bar in Brunswick that does like beat poetry and things of that nature, like open mic night
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not far from here, really. If you got like,
Oh.
yeah, and it's not really like an underground sewer thing either. It's just an open sort of venue.
Could you drive me?
Um,
You can meet. Wait, how
I
open would
could,
she be to
I
me
could.
meeting the
Well,
coterie?
she's the primogen, so she's like, she wouldn't like. You haven't really brought anybody to meet her before, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't strike you as, to your mind, you don't think that she would mind, but you couldn't say
Okay,
for sure.
cool.
I do have a driver. Can drive us there, no problem.
Cool.
would
Yeah.
prefer to take my own vehicle, thank you.
Her car is very nice, I say.
No offense to your own drivers, it's just a personal preference.
Oh, I totally understand. I prefer my. I don't know what the fucking. I know nothing of cars, you guys. Like out of character.
It's
So
fine.
like
Neither
I
do
have
I.
Like a Rolls or
zero
something.
idea what like in the 80s would be a super amazing car that a uh rich Italian
A DeLorean.
heritage family would have.
A
Probably not a DeLorean.
Probably not a
DeLorean.
DeLorean.
Ferrari?
No, Ferraris weren't very popular here, I don't believe.
Mm.
Maybe like, oh no, Camaros were like cop cars.
But like it has to be something that obviously it's like a car to be driven in, right?
Yeah.
So
Maybe like a Camaro or a Dodge, but they're both kind of cop cars. But they're nice.
Rolls-Royce?
like a limousine or a
oh, like a
town car.
Rolls Royce, maybe, yeah.
What about like an old,
yeah.
like an old sort of Rolls Royce, like Silver Phantom or something? Something like old and
Heck yeah.
ostentatious.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go full
Yeah.
go full gangster stereotype.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Giovanni family. They kind of
Yeah.
were.
True,
Like in the
true.
lore, like that's kind of what they are. So
Whenever
not far.
Whenever Letitia's car pulls it into frame, you hear the Godfather waltz, like the.
Correct.
Okay, so you guys are gonna go to this this bar to meet Archie's friend.
Yeah, they are called
Yeah,
shotgun
yeah.
because he hates sitting in the back. He's too big for it.
So you're in a convoy with a burgundy muscle car and a fancy Rolls Royce. And
It's looking good.
It's not far, and this bar that Archie gives the address for is very like a hole in the wall sort of thing. It's like you don't necessarily. It's not like it's never like a street front. It's more like you go down an alleyway and there's just a featureless like wall and a door in it with a plaque that actually has nothing written on it. And Archie knocks like 3 times in a specific order, and it opens. A man opens it, and the man that opens it is sort of like bulky and muscular, but in like an unsightly way, like maybe like the muscles in one
Where
arm.
you joked Javier was.
Yeah. And, yeah, exactly. And his skin's kind of, like his skin's kind of grayish, but like still with like life to it. And he's like Archie, mate, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Do I know his name?
Tim.
I'm good, Tim. It's good to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Is Archie still in the suit?
Yeah, I have. We haven't been back. We haven't been back to Victoria's.
It's like, what happened to the fur coat, mate? What's this stuff?
Oh, I had a meeting with the prince.
Oh.
Wait,
Wow.
is he a vampire? Do I know?
He's not, but he's a ghoul, so he's a witch.
Okay. Okay, so, cool.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah, it's
Archie gets
true.
huge masquerade violation.
He immediately gets murdered by Victoria.
Archie,
The one
no.
time Javier wasn't paying attention.
he's like, oh, you're here for. Simone's just finished up on stage. If you're here to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You vouch for all your mates.
Yeah, these are my good friends.
No one's going to start.
We're all...
playing silly buggers.
Archie looks back, thinks about the state that Astrid
I'm-
is in, and
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking
Oh.
with you, mate. Come on in. He sort of shows you inside. You go down like a narrow corridor and then go through another side door, and it's this very like dimly lit kind of like what you'd expect a jazz club to be. You know, just like there's red sheets thrown over the light, so there's all the light is just all of the light is just sort of dim and got a red tinge to it, and there's a woman sort of sitting in one corner, and she's surrounded by a bunch of people in like black turtlenecks and berets and that sort of thing. And she's her features are not like they're not inherently monstrous, but like it's like they're withered away. Like she looks like something bad happened to her, like an accident. Yeah, like ancient and many years ago something awful happened to her face, and she's wearing like all black. And she sort of she sees Archie, and when she smiles, like all of her teeth are just like needle-like points, just like a mouthful of like misshapen and pointing at odd angles, kind of like needle teeth. And she's like Archie, sweetie, hello.
I smile very wide and I walk up. Would we have the kind of relationship where I'd hug her?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, good.
She kind
Then
of
I
gets
hug
up.
her.
They get up and they hug, and she's like, "You missed my recital."
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a meeting with the prince tonight.
I
That's
heard
why I'm
about
dressed
that.
like this.
I was gonna go, but I thought I thought I'd rather be here. And honestly,
That's okay.
I'll hear about it, so I don't need to be there. In
Javier
fact,
pipes up.
okay.
You didn't miss much.
I know.
Oh, these are my friends.
She sort of smiles those needle teeth at Javier, and she's like, I know what I missed. And then she sort of you're the sheriff's new pack of baying hounds.
Archie like visibly cringes when she says that. I guess.
Oh, Archie, don't be so Archie about it. It's no one's asking you to rip off heads and glorify death. I'm sure your friends can manage that. You play the good little spy like you always do.
Thank you.
It's
I'll
nice to
try.
see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
Yes, you know that I don't love going out. But it is always a pleasure to see you, darling. How have you been? I see you've been well.
Excellent.
Well, we actually are here to perhaps seek your clan's knowledge of having many years scattered around.
Well, as you know, we love to deal in information, don't we, Archie?
We do.
It's
fun.
our bread and butter, as maybe you'd like to call it.
Exactly.
So you want to know about the clanless?
Yeah. We've as you know, we've been tasked with things, and we don't have a lot to go on just yet. So we thought maybe you would know.
Oh,
Yeah, even the sheriff is a bit vague about
Well,
it all.
lovely Mehitibel. She's always in the dark.
Seems
grasping at
like it.
straws, poking about.
You would
here and there.
probably. You, at the end of the day, are always our ears and eyes.
That's right.
Everybody knows that.
That's exactly right. Well, obviously, I'm happy to help, but there's a transactional nature to all of this. If
I understand.
I could part with some information, but I'd like you. Perhaps if you would part with some information for me.
Of course. Whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Right, guys?
Does Archie speak for all of you?
That's Archie's speak for us.
Because my question really is for Leticia.
Oh.
Well,
Leticia,
yes.
what is going on with Donato? And then I'd like to finish the scene there, and we can pick it up.
Oh,
next session.
hell yeah.
Because I imagine Letitia's features just kind of.
Do I need to roll composure?
maybe at the start of next scene.
Oh, look, with how the last two rolls have gone, maybe.
We seem to be only
Like-
getting bestial failures and messy criticals.
I really don't want to roll anymore, you guys. I'm scared. I was like, yeah, no, like she's just a ghost lady and just gonna be super chill and kind of like, be a little weirdo in the background. Nope.
I just
Compulsion, here we go. Like,
Well,
you need
you
to,
can
like,
always do. You can always be like,
Yeah.
I don't want this, and pass it off to someone
Yeah.
else.
I don't know. I just felt like the compulsion would be fun because like the compulsion really is about sort of playing up things that maybe aren't in your nature because the same sort of thing happens.
Oh yeah, they aren't in her nature at all. Like, she's trying really hard to like do it, and
Yeah.
it's not her thing at all.
I love that this like immediately procked Victoria's vein.
Yeah.
Just like immediately was like, I don't like her at all.
Yeah. It's Victoria's like, I'm the boss. I'm the leader.
She's like literally like side eyeing. Like, can you see this shit? She's just taking over. What this? I meant to, what?
I did love how like when Letizia was kind of like laying down the law, Victoria's like, well, the sheriff is our boss. The sheriff.
Like, not you. Who are you?
That was amazing
I really
and
liked
hilarious.
that was some real proper like kindred drama, like just like just because
We also notice Javier puts himself in front of the physical threats, but he's not stepping between Victoria and her. He's like, I'm not doing this.
That might be the first one that I've run that actually had like some proper drama in it. That was fun.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Lou does love her drama.
I hope everybody's
Love it.
okay and not like I just want to do a welfare check on everybody.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, no,
that was great.
I really was
Yeah.
not expecting you guys. I seriously was like, yeah, no, like Letitia's gonna just be get little widow talking to spirits and raising zombies in the background. Like, that's it. And then, but you never know what happens because of the beast. So here we are.
The fun
Fine,
part
we
is
should-
getting thrown into like roles that you don't want to do, like Archie being told now he's a hitman for the Camarilla.
Yeah, very,
Yeah.
that goes
I'm
against
sure at some point,
a lot of
Javier will just
Archie
be like, you
bullies.
don't have to kill anyone.
And I'll tell you what, though, Astrid's just like, man, the Camarilla are a bunch of fucks.
Javier's
I-
just like, I know.
I would like to say, probably on the drive over to Archie's little contact, Victoria like adjusted the mirror and looked at her in the back and was like, she was really out of line, man. I'm sorry. I think you're allowed to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, that's why
Now that
Javier is just like, I took care of it.
Now that Victoria's being challenged for leadership, she's like, I'm nice. I'm nice to everybody.
Yeah, that's a good one. You should all listen to me more. I let you get away with at least some things.
all Javier knows is he's like, there's a leadership fight happening here. Well, I know how to secure Victoria's
My
favor
favorite part
now.
was when Astrid's like, hey, I was turned into a vampire against my will, and everyone was like, yeah. We all were. Everyone's just kind of like, yeah.
I guess aside from me, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Victoria
I
was-
have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Victoria was totally silent. Victoria
Yeah.
was like, yeah,
I just like the
we
Archie and
all were.
Archie and Javier
Javier
were like,
noticed
yeah,
that.
That's how it goes.
Javier
She was turned by accident.
Javier was about to be cheeky and be like, so what happened with your sire, Victoria? But he took the silence and was like, oh, I see what happened here. Okay.
I just want Victoria to be like, I became a vampire through sheer force of will.
Hi, I asked for this. Tee. I'm loving all of this that's going on. We're gonna kill people? Fuck yeah.
No.
I'm just sitting here like, poor Javier. He cannot escape his fate no matter what game it is. Because
Also,
in the other
I
game, he's under an oath of ash, and his like oath is literally to make this problem that the anarchs are causing disappear or die trying.
Also, I have known Simone for like 2 minutes and I already love her.
Oh yes.
Yes.
She seems very sweet.
Yeah,
I
well,
love Simone. Yeah, she's cute.
It's always important to me to have some kindred in there who aren't just like total pricks. Because
Icky.
if they're all
Yeah.
total pricks, then it's like it's kind of like whatever. Like, okay, so we just expect everybody we meet will be an asshole. Or even if they are
Yeah.
a prick, it's always sometimes good to not show that they're a prick, or like they have to behave nicely. Like I did the princess having like a voice of like, hey, we're friends, but then like the stuff he's saying is like, fuck you, you're doing what I say. I don't care
Yeah.
what you think.
Javier's familiar with that.
Yeah. It's like, hey Astrid, give me your blood now. I'm not telling you why.
Yep.
But now at least Astrid knows what kind of vampire she is, which is good.
Yay! Now that she has any context, but that can come later. Because like a lot of terms were being thrown around. She's like, I have no idea what any of these words mean. What is a
Victoria-
Ventru? What is a Toreador?
Victoria still very clearly remembers that she has 2 more questions to ask her, and it's been like, maybe next time.
I loved the reveal that Javier was a Toreador and Victoria just double taking, like, excuse me?
It's like, oh, rough, buddy.
All right, well I think we'll call it there, and I'll do a quick raid. Thank you everybody for coming to watch, and thank you everybody for participating. I hope you all had a great time both in the game and watching. I'm really enjoying running this. I'm enjoying
This is a lot of fun.
the drama that's happening.
Oh.
So yeah, Nick?
Oh, I was just gonna say I just remembered I won't be here next week. My friend is coming back from the UK and we're having a coming back party for him.
No worries. We'll have Archie be like a background fella for that.
He's
For
off
that
doing
session.
spy work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll be at the cafe, but we can obviously move out of that scene and do some other stuff. Where Archie just sort of hangs out with his friend Simone.
Yeah, maybe she has some jobs for him or something to do.
That's what I've decided with this game. We're just gonna keep trundling forward, even if someone can't make it. Unless it's like a long term can't make it, then we'll sort of work something out. But yeah, cool. So right, I'm gonna raid Barjo because I like raiding Barjo. And yeah, thank you everybody for being here. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord, which is this. And I'll announce stuff happening with the game there, and you can see Violet's art there. And Serv, you should post your art too. I think you just put it in the OIC channel, but you can put it in general if you like. Actually, let me make a channel for that. But I'm going to raid now.
Yeah, but I actually haven't been posting it in the public channels because I would prefer to watermark my stuff before posting it in the public channels.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I can post up artwork somewhere.
Cool. I'll do the raid now, and I'll see everybody next week, or if I do a stream before then. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.